Hello, Steve White, Trickboy89 for Steve Arts89. I'm doing another look inside a book, one of my favourite Star Trek books. I like doing this because I like looking at other people's videos like this, and also I find buying books online really difficult, especially books that are very visual, because you normally only can see a page or two, and I don't know, I just find when I actually know what's in it, I want it even more. And I've got a few messages from people that have seen my videos and have said, thanks. Once I saw it, I wanted it, or I was never sure what was in it, and now I've seen it, I want it, and I've ordered it, and you know, that's worth doing a few videos for. So this is all about the lost scenes. Now this did sort of seem to come out at the same time as the Roddenberry Vault, which was where they had a whole bunch of deleted scenes and stuff from Star Trek that were picked over, and some were left, and they were trying to put them out there. So we've got a foreword by Doug Drexler with a nice shot of the original Enterprise restored. And a lot of these were tragically cut up and sent to fans. They paid for like a couple of film sales. So there were deleted scenes, and some of it was probably just extra cuts and extra takes and that, but we lost a lot of it. Some was left, and this is what this book and the DVD are. And you see the restoration process and the difference it can make between deteriorated film and film that's been restored. And it spends a lot of time talking about the optical effects, the amount of work that went into that. So that's very interesting on its own, and you get to see some shots of the Enterprise in production. Some of them they actually went and put starfields behind some of the footage that was filmed and not used. That was interesting. You get to see the miniatures and that as well. So the focus on the special effects was surprising. I wasn't expecting that when I got the book. I got this a long time ago. I looked at it once and meant to read it. There's a lot of books like that where I say I'm going to read it. I'm going to sit down and make a couple of days, and it never happens because I always don't want to half do it, and it just never gets done. I've got bookshelves full of books I have not read. So a lot of it is just alternate scenes and just different takes of things. So a lot of the footage wasn't that important. And then some of it were actual deleted scenes. And some things were found in some of the screenplays where things were changed. But they're still looking at effects. And this is fascinating. See how they filmed some of it. But you have to really, I think you have to really love Star Trek to appreciate this. You have to really love the original Star Trek, because some of it's, I don't know, it's not earth-shattering or anything, just makeup tests and things like that. But if you've seen the show a million times, the smallest little thing, like seeing the face of the monsters from the Galileo 7, it does affect sort of how you look at the episode, because you kind of, it's like you know what they look like now, and there's more detail, and you see things that you wouldn't sort of see. And some of it, I don't know if it takes away from the effects or the show or not, but yeah, the Tholians. So exterior shooting locations. A lot of it's just behind the scenes stuff. And some of that did make it to the DVD special features. There was one guy, I think, was it Bob Blackman? I've forgotten his name. He just did some filming behind the scenes, his home movies, they got released. And there was just a lot of extra stuff from the dailies that apparently Gene Roddenberry took home, or took when he left the series. And some of it, like I said, was cut up and sold to fans just as little frames. Others were just left, and they digitised them all and picked some bits that were interesting, they thought enough people want to watch. They go over some different angles and different lines and things that were filmed and not used, or variations. It's all interesting if you really love the original series, and just, like I said, just adds to the episode. You just get these little extra bits, little insights, little extra detail that just makes you look at a scene or look at a shot just a little bit differently, which you've seen the episode 100,000 times. It kind of helps. I think that's probably why I personally like a lot of the behind the scenes and making of books and stuff, because it does just change the way you see it. And since you can't get new episodes of the original Star Trek, the least you can do is get different perspectives on them. Not sure if I skipped a few pages there. But this is actually quite dense. I didn't realise how thick this book was. But yeah. Fortunately, well, I guess it's fortunate, because the original Star Trek was on such a tight budget and tight schedule, they didn't have a lot of time for extra shooting or extra scenes, so there's not a lot that was left on the cutting room floor that we actually missed. So the sad part is, of course, we don't get to discover it, but at least we're not missing anything that was lost. Like, a lot of stuff was lost because they didn't keep, especially in the 80s when a lot of stuff was on video and it wasn't kept. I mean, oh my God, look at what happened with Doctor Who. They're not just missing all the extra scenes and behind the scenes stuff. They lost whole episodes because they just weren't kept, because they weren't seen as being valuable. So it's kind of good that Gene kept some of this stuff. Gosh. And some pranks and jokes as well. And some effect shots that didn't work. Oh, it's a pity though. I mean, the composition of that might have been interesting. They did have a fair bit of fun behind the scenes. The blooper tapes were kind of famous, where unfortunately what I would like to see is those blooper tapes actually get the film for those and restore them, because they look so bad after all these years of being copied by fans over and over again to be shown at conventions in the 60s and 70s. Because some of them are funny, but just the quality is so bad, because they're literally copies of videos and copies of videos, which were copied from probably film back in the day, probably screened on a wall or something. Yeah, this is all bloopers. I kind of like the season 3 uniforms. Yeah, acknowledgements. So it was a little disappointing because there wasn't that much to really discover. There wasn't that much that was sort of lost. Same with the DVDs. There wasn't a lot on them. A lot of deleted scenes or things which I was hoping for. But it still was all interesting and worth doing. But not like movies where they have deleted scenes. TV series, usually not as much. But that's that. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. What you thought of the book, what you thought of the Roddenberry Vault. And if you have any insight about any scenes or things you've heard rumoured over the years, feel free to share it in the comments. Thanks. Bye.